All right, fair use, fair use. It's your brother Wab Rum. You're back with another lesson, Lord willing. It'll be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wahab, Rakakwadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000. Men of the Lord you see on the highways and byways prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Also in the correct doctrine. I want to send a shalom to the 1/3 men, women, and children that would escape the judgments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah by their faith. I got another lesson I want to bring out. As you see, what DT says, there won't be a World War III. Hopefully at all. It is not going to start in the Middle East. Now, the scriptures forewarned of a last world's war, the Battle of Armageddon, which the world coined it as World War III. And now that the pieces are being put in place, you will have a World War III because it's biblical. It's a biblical prophecy. Now I'm gonna play this video. You're gonna see the pride of the Edomites, man. They feel like they're in control of the world, just like Job. The scripture says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and they really believe that they possess the world and they control of everything that goes on in the world. But it's only to their downfall, man, because the pride is puffing them up for the Lord to basically bring them down. Just like he did Pharaoh. He puffed him up with great pride to come against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, and he had a great fall. Now let's check this out.
Means so much. There were so many people who said the Middle East, and this has been going for many, many decades. I've read it many times that World War III will begin in the Middle East. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It was a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be World War III, hopefully at all, but it's not going to start in the Middle East. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. There'll never be a World War III.
And he was kind of conveying it won't be in the Middle East, but scriptures tell you the least of the flock shall draw them out. So already as the peace treaty that they put in place in the Middle East is already unraveling as they say that the Gazans have not given over all the dead people to Israel. But if it wasn't going to be a World War III, they wouldn't be putting troops in place to fight a World War III in the Middle East. As you see 200 U.S. soldiers arrive in Israel, and this is the other day, this is like yesterday or the day before, as Witkoff confirms, I know I'm butchering it, Woodruff confirms IDF troops completely first phase of withdrawal from Gaza. So the IDF is supposed to be withdrawn from Gaza, and the peace troops of the U.S. 200 supposed to be taking over their place. And this is only the Lord setting this thing up strategically, because as the troops land in Gaza, you have troops also landing in Afghanistan. And this was just it's 10/9, not 9, not September, it's October. This is October. And this was right after DT said he wanted to take back the Bagram Air Base. So they already sent troops over there. It said today large number of American troops have arrived in Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. And this was October 9. So this is last week. So these troops are being put in place to fight a world war. Not only there, but as you see here, it says, this is on X, it says U.S. deployed over 10,000 troops in Puerto Rico and forces from the 82 Airborne deployed to Trinidad and Tobago near Venezuela. Now you're going to see these troops boarded, 10,000. see, I'm in a military town myself, and you can tell when the troops are leaving, and it's a lot of troops gone from my area. And like I said, it's normally pretty crowded. But since these things have been happening, troops being sent off, being deployed, even my neighbor, he was deployed. So this ain't a light thing, man. They're getting put in place for World War III. He just said that it won't be no World War III in the Middle East, but there is going to be a World War III in the Middle East, and it's going to be in our lifetime, and that's going to be very, very soon. This is Joel 3, in verse 1. It says, "Behold, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations." See that he's going to gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, meaning the Lord's judgment. And see, this is the Lord's war. He set these nations up for war. It says, "And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel." This is all for the controversy of Zion. The time that we've been here in Babylon the Great, we've been in captivity. Now that punishment is coming to an end. And this is the reason why it will be a World War III. It says, "Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted by land." And see where they at now. They in the Lord's land. They parted it. Now you seeing them separating and trying to. They was at one point they were saying it's going to be a two-state solution. Now that's out the window. They're going to they're saying that they're going to beautify the land and make it a tourist site, and that's part of the Lord's land, man. You're not taking heed to this as being Yahweh Bashem Yahweh's land, man. And this is why this will be a World War III, for the controversy of Zion and for pardoning the Lord's land. And now the Lord is wanting his land back, man, and to give it to the rightful owners. Verse 3, it says, and they have casted lots for my people and given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So they put us in slavery, man. They put us in captivity, and they did horrendous things to us, man. Now the time has come for the Lord to judge the nations that judged us and put hell on us. It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? And see, all those nations, African nations, even the Palestinians, they had a part in bringing us into captivity and taking our land. It says, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. And see, the Lord is judging the Palestinians now, man, for what they did to the children of Israel. And you can read about that in Amos 1, man, Gaza. So this is you see all the judgment the Lord bringing on the Palestinians. It's all biblical prophecy, man, for what they did to the children of Israel. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians. So you sold us to a far off land. And that's why we are. That's where we at to this present day, man. We are in a so-called white man's hands, Esau, Edom, that ye might remove them far from their border. See that we've been put into captivity. That's why it will be a World War III, man. You'll be brung to the Lord's decision. Verse 7, it says, for behold, I will raise them up out of the place whether ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. And this is what the Lord is doing now. The Lord is preparing the children of Israel to return to their land and judge the heathen and the Grecians, man, which is the modern day Edomites. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians to a people far off. For Yahweh Bashem Yahushua have spoken it. So it's basically going to be a trading of places, man. We was in slavery and captivity. It's going to be switched to the Edomites and these other nations be put into slavery, the heathen nations. Verse 9 it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords, your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So all the nations are being assembled. Like I said right here, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about. Hither cause thy mighty ones to come down. O Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And see, this is where the Lord is going to judge the heathen, man. And that's going to be in the Middle East, man. In the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. Real quick, let's get this in the blue letter. Because all the nations are going to be gathered to come. And that's why you had so many, a lot of those nations that was with in the peace summit, all the Western nations, the Middle Eastern nations, all of them came to the summit with DT. And a lot of those nations are going to be turned against each other, man. If not all of them. But you're seeing the Lord make it a major, especially with Turkey. And DT kept saying that Turkey, he's a strong man because he know he is going to turn on him, man. That's biblical prophecy. Yahweh Shaphat, which I'll let him pronounce it.
Strong's H 3092. Jehoshaphat.
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 Yahweh Shaphat. Right here it says Jehoshaphat. Yahweh has judged. So we know that this is the place where it's going to be judged. Symbolically named of a valley near Jerusalem. See that? That's the land that we are going to possess. Where the small hatters and the Gazans and Palestinians have now. It says symbolically name of a valley near Jerusalem, which is the place of ultimate judgment. See that? The Lord has gathered them all there. That's where the judgment is going to be. It says, may be the deep ravine which separates Jerusalem from the mountain of olives, through which of the cauldron flowed. Yahweh Shaphat. It says 6 names of Israelites. Also the valley of near Jerusalem. Yahweh Shaphat. So you know that the Jehoshaphat means Yahweh's judged, or Yahweh's judgment. And this is where everyone is being gathered to for this great battle. And that's also called the Battle of Armageddon. And we can read about that in Revelation 16:16. Matter of fact, let me get there real quick. Because this world is already written. It's been written from the beginning of a last world's war. Revelation 16:16. And he gathered them together. See that? The Lord is gathering all the nations, man. Gathered them all together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. This is where all the nations are going to be fighting at, man. So we know that this is going to come to pass because it's written. And there's no way to duck it, escape it. No matter how DT says it's not going to happen, it's already written, man. It's written before he was even thought of, just like myself. I wasn't even thought of when the Lord had this already planned in our lifetime to happen. This is Ezekiel 38 and verse 17. It says, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old times by the mouth of by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them. And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog, modern day Russians, it says, shall come against the land of Israel. See that? Come against the land of Israel. So even the Russians are called the Medes, Gog. I'm trying to think of another name they call them. But off the top of my head, those are the two names that are easily known for being the Russians, man. And they're going to come against the land. And it's talking about the land where our land. So the Lord is going to bring them to the valley of Yehoshaphat for judgment. And he's also going to bring the Russians to start this thing off, man. And you can't say how it's going to play out, but it's going to play out, man. And this is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's will. Verse 18, one more time, it says, and it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel. See that? Come against the land of Israel. Said Yahweh Bashem Yahushai power, that my fury shall come up in my face. And see, this is where the Lord looks at, man. This is his land. His eyes are constantly on the land of Israel. It says, for in my jealousy and in my fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. See that? It's going to be a great shaking in the land of Israel. So we know that it's going to be fought in the Middle East, man. And I don't know what DT don't have a clue. So the Lord is telling you through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you can read up and it tells you about the Russians gathering these nations to back them. The Lord putting the hooks in their jaws to fight. So in their spirit, they are preparing to fight, man. And the Lord is drawing them out to fight, man. We seen troops being moved by Babylon, but we ain't seen the troops moved by these other nations, man. So the Lord is gathering all these nations and putting them in place to fight this last world's war, man. Because they're going to be brung to the Middle East to fight it. Verse 20, it says, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. See that? The Lord is going to bring a great judgment in that land, man. That's why it's called the valley of Yehoshaphat, man. Jehoshaphat. It says, and the mountains shall be thrown down. See, there's going to be a thermonuclear destruction that's coming, man, in the Lord's land. It says, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. See that? A great destruction in that land, man. So it will be fought in the Middle East. And I will call for the sword against them, it's like against him throughout all my mountains. See that? He's going to cause a sword to come up. And what's that modern day sword? Those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. 9:21 again, it says, and I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, except Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So the Lord is going to cause the land to be destroyed, man. And this is his land, man. This is heavy, man. Because the biblical prophecy that we're reading about is going to happen, man, in our lifetime. This ain't way out. This ain't going to happen for 10, 20 years. This thing is already put in place, man. And you seeing the ball rolling. It's coming fast. 21, one more time, it says, and I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, said Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Power. He says, every man's sword shall be against his brother. See that all those nations are beating up for peace, but it's ultimately going to turn into war against each other. It says, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. See that? With pestilence and blood. And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him. See that? The Lord is going to judge these nations, man, in that land, because the Lord is going to pop up in that land and fight, and they're going to cause those nations to fight against him. And it's like an overflowing rain. It's talking about those missiles. And great hailstones, fire and brimstone. See that? It's going to be this ain't going to be fought hand-to-hand combat. It might start off in little pockets and patches of little hand-to-hand combat, but ultimately it's going to turn into burning the fuel of fire, man. Isaiah 9:5. Verse 23, it says, thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations. See that? Everyone is going to know the Lord did this. Everyone is going to know the Lord brought these nations into the Middle East to fight the Battle of Armageddon. He says, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So these nations are going to soon know that the Lord did this. No one could have did this but the Lord. And that's going to be made plain as day. The Lord caused all this destruction. And that was all for the controversy of Zion. This is Jeremiah 25 and verse 30. It says, therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. See that? The Lord is coming from on high, man. He's going to crack the clouds, man. He's going to enter into the land of the thief. And who stole our land, man? And who stole the Lord's people, man? So the Lord is going to be against Babylon the Great and our land. And you should know what I mean. I done said it a couple times, but just to avoid the algorithm, you should know that this place is going to be utterly wasted and our land is going to be utterly wasted, man. But our land is going to be built back up when we return. So you know that the Lord is going to make is making preparations for Yahweh to return, man. And we see it, man. That's the beautiful thing about it, man. We see it being played out, man. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes. Man, the Lord is coming to stomp these people out, man. That's metaphorically speaking, man. It says against all the inhabitants of the earth. So the Lord is going to be against all the heathen, man. Even 2/3 of his people he's going to be against. Only the elect, the Lord willing, I'm a part of that number, man, is going to be in the good graces of the Lord, man. It says, a noise shall come even from the ends of the earth, for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh shall have a controversy with the nations. See that? The Lord has a controversy with the nations. You can read about that in with Psalms 83, man. For what they did to the children of Israel, man. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick, man. I gotta bring that out. It go right with it, man. I'm gonna go right back. Right back. I just want to hit one verse, Psalms 83, for the not for the controversy. Because they all was against us. This is Psalms 83. I'll start at verse 1. It says, keep not not thou silent, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. Lifted up the head. See, that's the proud. And DT is the forerunner of the proud, man. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And that's what they do with these peace agreements. They are hiding the true people of that land. They hiding the true people of that land, and this goes to show you that the people ain't there, man. Because the scriptures clearly tell us they have lifted up the head against the Lord, man. And the representation of the Lord is his people here in the earth. And this is all the nations. This is why all the nations are going to be brung to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat to be judged. Verse 3, it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. And what they've done, they've taken our land and cut us off from being a nation. They call us black, Hispanic, Spics, all type of shit, man. It says that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See, they took it over the land and said that they was us. And all the nations had a hand in that. Continuing on, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And this is they're confederate against the Lord, man. This is all against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. And I'm not going to read all the nations, but the main ones you can see that are in the forefront of it, man. And DT, the eagle, is the forefront of them, man. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. And that line right there alone is pretty much explains who was in that meeting of the peace agreement that with DT that put for the Middle East. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek. See that? That's plain. the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have Hopen, the children of Lot, Salah. So the Chinese, the North Koreans, South Korea, all of them, man. Not one nation is going to get a pass. All these nations have came against the children of Israel, man. And they've all joined to have one consent, is to not let these people ever know who they are. Because they know that when we come back to our power, he moves on our behalf. And see, the elect is the only ones that's coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And soon the Lord is going to move on our behalf. He's putting them in place now to move on our behalf. Back to Jeremiah 25 and verse 31, it says, "A Noah shall come even from the ends of the earth. Yahweh Shem Yahushua have a controversy with the nations." See that? We done read who the enemies of the Lord is. He has a controversy with them, man. A beef. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We just read the sword was coming against our enemies, man. That's the modern day intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Let me get this in an NLT. It says, his cry of judgment will reach the ends of the earth. See, all the nations are going to be gathered and come down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. It says, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua will bring his case against all the nations. See that? You was confederate against you was confederate against Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. So the Lord is going to bring all his case against all these nations. He will judge all the people of the earth, slaughtering the wicked with the sword. I, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, have spoken. And this is spoken, man. This is already brung out. We just basically bringing it back to refresh the people's memory of this day that's coming of the Lord, man. Good News Translation, it says, and the sound will echo to the ends of the earth. Yahweh Shem Yahushua has a case against the nations. He will bring all people to trial and put the wicked to death. Oh my goodness. Yahweh Shem Yahushua have spoken. See, this is already written, man. This can't be changed. This can't be altered. This is already pretty much going to happen through the Spirit. This is going to happen physically now, man. And that's why you're seeing things are being moved in place just for the Lord to bring judgment on the heathen for us, on our behalf. 32, it says, thus say Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. A great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall be at that day from one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented. See that they're not going to cry for the people that's brung by the judgment brung on, especially Esau Edom. Amalek. He says, nor buried. See that there's going to be a lot of death in the land, man. They're going to be buried, man. They shall be dung upon the ground. And see, these soldiers are going to be dung up on the ground, man. To the point the Lord has a great sacrifice for the fowls of the heaven, man. And I'm going to get that, man, because it's a great slaughter coming, man. This is Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation. See that the Lord is preparing the nations to get destroyed, man. Even all my furious anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Lord is going to bring great judgment, man. Great judgment, man. To the point these nations are going to say, that has to be the Lord, man. No one can bring that type of destruction but the Lord, man. This is Ezekiel 39 and verse 17. It says, and thou son of man, thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua power, speak thou, it says, speak unto every feathered fowl and to every beast of the field. Assemble yourselves and come, gather yourselves on every side. to my sacrifice. See that? They're going to be like dung upon the earth. That's because they're going to be sacrificed by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That I do a sacrifice for you. See that? The Lord is making a sacrifice for the animals. And that's going to be these soldiers, man. Even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel. See? Even the great sacrifice on the mountains of Israel. See that land is going to be the judgment seat, man, of the Lord, man. That's the Lord's land, man. That's where the Lord is going to sit to judge all the people round about. That ye may eat flesh and drink blood. And see, the sacrifice is for the animals to eat and drink blood, man. Eat flesh and drink blood. He says, ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth. Of rams, of lambs, and of goats, and bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. See that Bashan is a land in where we are in Israel. I'll just say it, fuck it. That the sacrifice is going to be. So he gave you examples of sacrificial animals, man. But we know it's going to be the soldiers, man, that's brung over to that land to fight in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Verse 19, it says, and ye shall eat fat until ye be full. Man. And drink blood until ye be drunken for my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. And it's like I just we read for the beasts of the field and for the fowls of heaven, man. This is a sacrifice the Lord is preparing for the animals, man, to eat flesh and drink blood till they're drunken. My goodness. It says, thus ye shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men. See that? With mighty men. And that's what the soldiers are, mighty men. And with all men of war. See that? That's how we know for a fact it's talking about the soldiers, man. That's going to be brung over to that place to die in those lands, man. Thus said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power. So this is written. The Lord is already preparing this place for the slaughter, man. He's preparing a great slaughter. Let me drop down. Read on in 25. It says, and I will set my glory among the heathen. See that? He's going to set his glory among the heathen so they will know this is the hand of the Lord. And all the heathen shall see my judgment. See that? All the heathen want to see my judgment because they're going to say, this is the Lord, man, that did this. And all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed. Woo! In my hand that I have laid upon them. See that? In the hand that I laid upon them. So the heathen are going to be judged at the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And that's going to be Yahushua, man. So the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, their power. See that? When the Lord brings his judgment, the elect are going to be in those chariots, Lord willing, I'm a part of that number, cheering the destruction on that the Lord brings on our enemies, man. So you're going to know for a fact, this Lord did this, man. And we're going to cheer on the destruction that the Lord brings, man. So the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, their power from that day and forward. Slaki. It says, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity. See that? So we're going to know that this is prophecy, man. The Lord put us in captivity for our disobedience, our sins. And now the Lord is coming back to take us out of the same captivity he put us in. He says, because they trespassed against me, therefore hid I my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies. See that? Psalms 83. So fell they all by the sword. So we was judged, man, by the Lord, man. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them and hid my face from them. See that? Therefore, thus said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power, now will I bring again the captivity of Judah and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel. See that? You repent and return to the Lord is going to have mercy on you, man. Because we know a remnant is the only ones that's going to make it, man. And I will be jealous for my holy name. See that? The Lord is going to he's rebuilding the house of David, but he's bringing up the house of Yasharallah, man, which is the Israelites. And that's the Lord's name, man. This is all, man, biblical prophecy, man. We're seeing right before our eyes, man, the Lord bringing us out of this captivity we're in, man. This is Isaiah 34, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is upon all nations. So no nation is going to be exempt from his judgment, man. All nations. And his fury is upon all their armies. See that? It's going to be all their armies, man. And that's where they're gathering to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. And we see that the Lord is going to slaughter the armies, man, for the sacrifice for the animals, man. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. See that? As dung upon the earth, man. We just read that. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood. See that? They're going to be melted with their blood. So the land is going to be soaked with blood, man. And what the animals like, the vultures like, they like blood, man. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And what's going to cause a scroll in the heavens? In a cloud, man. It's talking about thermonuclear missiles, man. It says, and all their hosts, armies, shall fall down. See that? The destruction is going to cause all the armies to fall down, man. As a leaf falleth off from the vine. See that? They're just going to fall. They're just going to drop dead, man. From the destruction that's coming. And as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. And we know who the people are for the curse of judgment, man. It's without a shadow of a doubt now, man. He says, the sword of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats. See that? This sacrifice the Lord is telling you about, man. And with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh Bashem Yahushua hath a sacrifice in Basra. And we speak of Babylon and Greek, but it's going to be in our land as well. Where the Idumeans are. And we know who the Edomites are, Idumeans, man. It's just a Greek name, a Greek way of saying Edom. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. See that? Wherever the Edomites are, they are considered the land of Idumea. Just like the children of Israel are considered Israel no matter where they're at. So the Lord is speaking of a people before it's a place, man. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood. See that? It's going to be a lot of death. A lot of death. And their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's vengeance. So that's why the war is going to be in the Middle East. This is the day of the Lord's vengeance, man. And the year of recompenses. And what we just read in Joel. If you can pay me back, the recompense, and we know that these nations can't pay the Lord back, man. That's why the Lord is going to judge them. Man, this is heavy. It says, for the controversy of Zion. See that? For the controversy of Zion. Real quick, NLT. For it is the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's revenge. The year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. See that? And what they're doing now, they going against the northern tribe. Now they in Chicago going against the southern tribe. So this is all for the controversy of Zion. So they're going to be paid back for all that they've done, not just this year, but since we've been in their hands, man. Drop down GNT, my two favorite versions, man. He says, this is the time when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will rescue Zion. See that? So now we know it's the time the Lord rescues his people, man. And take vengeance on their enemies, on her enemies. That's plain, man. Plain, man. So Lord Williams, edify me in it there. Shalom. Shalom.